Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening all over the world as you are watching this live broadcast. Today is going to be amazing. Remember, we are doing this 12 days of awesomeness with young African internet millionaires with the emphasis on young. Deliberately, we are bringing you guys who are all under 30 or 35. The oldest of them is 34 years old. And these are guys who are killing it all over the world to make that statement that Nigerians, regardless of how bad it is, regardless of how terrible it is, there are young boys who are killing it. So that if you are young out there and you are complaining about the government, about the environment, there's something you are missing. Hopefully, you are going to be able to learn these 12 days from each of these personalities that I'm going to be bringing. All of them I know intimately or have been able to follow their career. So whatever I tell you about them is the real deal. But today is special. In the sense, when you have a list of 12 people, you know, in that 12 people, there's also the top 3. All right. One of them is right here today, and it's going to be a doozy. All right. Today, we are going to be speaking with the youngest CEO. You know, when you hear that youngest CEO, it's like a nickname that, you know, people can just give themselves. Some people earned it like a college degree. And this guy is one of those. As the youngest CEO, and you agree with me or not, as we begin to unpack him today. So let me just quickly introduce him for those of you perchance who may not know this young colossus of business in Africa. And I use that word, I haven't used that word for anybody. Remember that word colossus, there's a reason. And we're going to talk about that later. I haven't used it for anybody since we've started this program. But this young man is a colossus in African business and beyond. Seun Ogundele is his name, in case you haven't heard of him. We call him the youngest CEO. He's an amazing digital marketer who started very early while still a teenager and is now an international super affiliate software founder and product launcher on one of the world's biggest stages where people launch products globally. A place called JVZoo and another called Warrior Plus is dominating in both of those platforms. He has over 13 years. Remember what I just said? He just turned 30, maybe a few months ago. But he has over 13 years experience in online marketing. He's an author of the best-selling book, How to Build a Successful Digital Business with Product Launches. Seun, like I said, earned his moniker as youngest CEO the way people earn degrees. It's not a nickname. He made his first million as a teenager and has not looked back since. He's the CEO of Fast Loss Innovations, Nigeria, that has presence in Nigeria, US, UK, and I'm suspecting Dubai now. I haven't tracked them to Dubai yet, but I'm suspecting they're in Dubai. The company is a multi-million-dollar tech innovation company which has developed and launched, wait for this, over 40 softwares globally. Yeah, you had that right, 40. Even me, his granddaddy. I don't have 40. I don't even have 20. He has over 40 with over 95,000 clients in 27 countries that include not just African countries, USA, Canada, France, New Zealand, India. Yeah, Funke, I know I'm intimidating you. Those of you are up there. I really want you guys to be intimidated before you hear his word because he's an inspiration. If he can do it, why can't he do it? I'm still introducing him. Seun's businesses have generated over $10 million. You had that right. No naira, $10 million. Multiply that by 720. You know where you are going? You are going to 7 billion. That is the kind of business he's done, and most don't even know him. That's what is scary. Most in Nigeria have never even heard of this young man. And there are many like that over there. And that is why we do this exercise. Over the last 5 years, he has done over $10 million in sales. He has empowered, and wait for this, over 150,000 Africans in the last 13 years. Some state governments have not even empowered 10,000 people. And he's just a young man. And he's ridiculously even looking young. When you Google him as I'm talking, and you see him, like, is that the show they are talking about? That's what I told myself. The first day I Googled the guy, and I'm looking at this Pekele guy, I say, is that the guy? Okay, no problem. He's just turned 30 a few months ago in August. Yeah, you can all suck on that. So when I say there are young Nigerians killing it out there, I wasn't capping, guys. He's also the founder of DigiStella, an all-in-one digital sales platform an affiliate network that offers integrated online store, sales funnel, affiliate marketing. I was looking at that product, I'm like, oh my God. I couldn't say, I was saying before that this guy reminds me when I was in my early 20s, but that would be an exaggeration. I was deadly, but this guy is much, I have to admit it, is much better when I'm looking at him now. I was like just a double barrel shooter in my early 20s. I had a finance company and I had a law firm and one small importation company. But this guy makes me look like a slacker. And I wasn't a slacker in my 20s. I was bad. All right. He has also been featured. No, see, because wanted to say, yeah, that guy is deadly. It's another thing for the nation and above to recognize him. He's been featured in the Punch, the Nation newspaper, Tribune newspaper, Success Digest Extra, and of course, the Fearless Netpreneur magazine. In short, I have to be honest about this. In all my top entrepreneurs that I'm featuring in this series, I call it the 12 confessions, right, of African internet millionaires. Seun Ogundele is the most difficult for me to pigeonhole. I've been trying to do it for the last couple of days. Okay, see, because we call them digital internet marketers. Internet marketers. I think it would be a disservice for me to say Seun Ogundele is an internet marketer, even though that's going to be our focus on this thing. He has transcended them because he has several businesses and he has succeeded in most of them. I will call a man who has a full betting company called Naira Win. He owns a record label and entertainment company. He has a real estate company that is building and selling and renting houses successfully. And he has sold physical products. He has created physical products. And now he's with us in digital business. What can I say? Seun Ogundele, here is the guy. Say hello to my people right here. That's him.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Doctor. I'm so honored to be here. I'm humbled by your words, and I want to say a big thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right. Thank you so much, Seun. You are somebody that has that makes me so proud. I told you that offline, and I'm saying it publicly also, because so many times we see Nigerians who are doing well, but they only know themselves. They only want to enjoy themselves, and you have all this success going on, and you are not outlandish with it. Yes, you enjoy a good life, but I've been watching you for more than, I would say, since 2014. That's about 7 years, at least 9 years at least. And I'm very impressed with the way you carry yourself, the way you manage yourself, despite all that success. So well done. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right. We are going to go to it. Everybody knows I don't ask how's your family. I know you just got married not too long ago and all of that stuff. And I wish I was going to be there as a surprise. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it to Nigeria then. So well done. But I will ask you what I won't ask everybody. How is marriage going? I've never asked anybody that, but I'll ask you just to calm you down before we start. How is marriage?
Okay, marriage is the best thing that ever happened to me. It gave me a purpose and it gave me motivation to even, I would say, I've been a better version of myself ever since I got married.
Wow.
Just like, well, I'm not a marriage expert, but like I do tell people, when you get married to your friend, you're married to someone that is like a partner, a friend, a mother, and is purpose driven also. You go far. If you're at level 10 before you get married, when you are married, you get to level 100 and above. So marriage has been a blessing to me.
Wow.
That's all I'm going to say.
Wow, and I'm glad I asked that question because really I normally don't ask it, but I remember seeing your marriage invitation, and I saw the marriage when I was watching the traditional ceremony. I was actually watching it live, and I was very impressed. Well, I'm glad to hear that marriage has really been good for you, because in our business, sometimes it could be a problem. If particularly someone like you that is worse than me, that have all these businesses that you are doing, we thank God for good wives. So, wife, what's her name?
Her name is Temilade.
Temilade, big ups to you for keeping my boy on the up and narrow and for enriching his life for that. And I will have been able to tell if you were just capping, because normally when you ask that question, people frown if they are not really having a good marriage. They frown first, then they catch themselves, and then they tell you bullshit. But he smiled immediately I asked that, meaning that he really, really does have a good marriage. Well done. All right.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Here I'm going to just go straight away. You just turned 30, maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. But you have so many companies operating simultaneously. So what I want to know first is, how do you manage so many businesses with most of them thriving? And what lessons have you learned from that journey?
Okay. The very first thing I would say is that at the beginning, I've learned to differentiate between having multiple streams of income and trying to do so many things at the same time. People underestimate the power of focus when it comes to anything you're doing in life. So, and when it comes to business, for me, focus is important. When you put all your focus, all your energy into one thing, you're going to do so great with it compared to when you're trying to do so many things at the same time. So at the early stage of my business, in fact, when I started learning how to make money in 2009, that was why I couldn't make a dime on the internet in the first 2 years, because I was trying to do so many things at the same time. I was learning this, I was doing the other business, doing copywriting, web designing, information marketing, Google AdSense. So everything muddled up. I couldn't get ahead. Like I was just struggling. So the moment I noticed that to succeed, you just have to do one thing so well. You have to focus on it and all that. So I understand. So most people get stuck in the process of, okay, I need to have multiple streams of income. But before you do that, you need to have a stable source of income. You have to build one business and focus. So the moment I learned that, so all I do is create a business. Once I create a business and it's bringing in money from, like, everything is working perfectly well, I systemize the business. Because another thing I find out about business is that if you want a business that will outlive you, a business that will actually give you that freedom that you want in the first place, you have to learn how to get people to work with you. So once I create a business, I systemize the business or automate the business, which means I create system about how my business operates. Then I bring in people to work on this. So once I get to a level where I systemize my business and then I entrust people, because for years I was stagnant. Because later, after going through series of masterminds and all that, I noticed the difference between a guy that is doing $100,000 and $1,000,000 is not even about hard work. It's about creating systems in place. Because there's little to what you can do alone. But when you have team effort plays an important role. So the moment I understand all these things about business, in fact, I was able to help a lot of my friends as well that were in this same industry. They are struggling, they are making the money, but it's just not showing. So, and the thing is, you're not building a business, you're just having a money-making opportunity. So the moment you start building a business around what you do, then things start working out. So I create a business first. Once I create a business and I master it very well, I systemize the process. Once I systemize the process, then the business can work without me. That's when I think of something else I want to do. Then I can diversify into something else. So that's how I try to manage all my business. So at this point in my life, I really don't do much of the what I do is overseeing my business. I have teams in charge of everything that I run, and they give me feedback. So that way it frees me time. I have enough time to think about the most important part of the business, which is growth, sales. So I focus on all those things without doing all those technical parts. So that's how I'm able to manage all my businesses.
Wow. We are about to get an MBA today from the youngest CEO, straight up. I asked that question first because it intrigued me, and I'm also learning from people that I interview. For those of you that at home, he hit it right on the money. Focus is the key. You know that I've been telling you guys all that all week. Now you're hearing from a guy that has so many of them. You got to get one. When it's done, then you systemize it. And I can testify to that with Seun, because I remember when he was going to go into the JVZU circuit, talking to him, you wouldn't even know he had other businesses because he never talked about them, he never referenced them. And that's all he was focusing on. It was a surprise to me, by the way, Seun. Later, when I found out that you had so many other businesses before I even knew you. He was right. He focused. And if anybody can do that, and I'm going to even go harder myself. I already know this. I already tried to do this. But you're right. Systemization. That's why the white guys are different from us. They systemize and they move on. Well done. That was a very good one. That was a selfish question. I wanted to know because myself, I said, myself that I get plenty business. Let me learn more from this guy. Okay. Now, tell me about your journey so far. No, I don't even want to go to the digital business yet. This man is not just digital. Let me satisfy myself. All right. When I was researching you, because I do that, even though I knew you very well, but when I'm interviewing my guys, it's always a very thorough job, no sentiment stuff. So when I was interviewing you, I came across this piece and several places, by the way, where you are giving a story that actually you used to admire your dad, where your dad, the way people used to come to him, your dad in lab coats, and that you wanted to grow up like him. So I want to know what happened between that vision and a life happening to you that you are now where you are, and what are the lessons we can learn from that? Go.
Okay. So growing up, I watched, my dad is a medical doctor actually. So he's a medical doctor in UCH Ibadan. So growing up, I see people coming to our house asking for help, asking for him to assist them one way or the other, either medical bills or to get them an appointment in the hospital and all those stuff. So I love it. Like it has always been part of me to help people. Like I do that effortlessly. It's in me. So, and I know I got that from my dad. So growing up, I always wanted to become a medical doctor too. Why my mom is a computer scientist, like she's into computer, but then as far back as when it was just typewriter, all this electronic typewriter and all that, we had that at home, but I wasn't into it. But when I got to secondary school, that was when I started developing interest for computers when I was in GSS1. So I started developing interest that time.
How old
I
were
used
you
to
then? How old were you?
I should be like maybe 10 or maybe 10. So
Are you
I
guys
used to
seeing
go
now how the youngest CEO is coming? But go ahead. Go ahead, Isheo. Go ahead.
so I used to go to cyber cafe then. My dad would give me feeding fee. I won't eat in school. I'll go to cyber cafe. I don't know what I want to do there. I'll just buy tickets. I'll get the operator to sit down with me, teach me Yahoo Messenger, how to open the account, how to open a Yahoo mail and all those things. So I learn all those things. When I get to school, I teach my friend. I'll just take all of them to the cyber cafe, charge them money for tickets, open an account for them and all that. So that entrepreneurship stuff has been in me since then. At a point, I created my first manual, and it was actually crazy. I
Interesting.
created this manual writing, like I used a pen and the jotter to write manual, and I created that manual for 10 people. Like I have to write and also draw computer, yes, draw the sign, the mouse, how they can navigate, how they can create emails and all those things. So I started developing interest in it and all that, and it was all fun. So when I got to SS3, when I was preparing for my WAHEC, so I discovered a newspaper called Success Digest Extra at the back of Complete Sports. So at that time, I was intrigued. I was like, okay, so there's a newspaper that talk about all these business opportunities, internet opportunities, and all that. So I had to go to one stand at the Road back then to get a newspaper. So I bought the paper. I think it was 100 naira then. So ever since that time, I keep on buying this newspaper. So I got to meet a lot
That's
of
Sunday
people.
Jack's paper, right? Sunny.
Exactly.
Okay. He
Yes.
influenced
Yeah.
every one of us. But go ahead.
Yeah. So then I got to know Otumba Alabi through his write up, his advert. Like I was like, wow, I would like to become someone like this. Like I like it was my mentor. I love the way he does his marketing, everything. I was like, God, I want to I want to get to this level and all that. So I started buying these newspapers and not learning a lot. I learned that's why like I can do almost anything when it comes to internet. There's nothing you want to talk about the internet space that I can't say about. Talk about copywriting, web designing, graphics, everything. Like I can do all those things because I started learning on my own. And you know, as a young child, I was just 10 or 11 then.
Wow.
My goal was to think of how I will pass my jump. My father is a doctor, so I can't tell him, hey dad, I want to start business, or I want to go into online business and all that. So, but later I was like, well, I think this is what I want to do. But then I was still confused, like, okay, is this where I'm going, or I want to become a medical doctor? So, but I noticed that I was just getting more interested in this whole internet business of a thing. And the major reason why I like it is that I look at Nigeria as a thing to get anything done. I notice when they owe my father's salary and all that. So it's so messed up and all. And in Nigeria, you need connections, you need a lot of things. But with internet, one thing and the major reason why I stick to internet, like all the money I've made, every businesses I've invested in, all my money comes from internet. I've never collected a dime from anybody to invest
Wow.
in the business. So I started learning all these things. And when I got to SS3, I wrote my WAEC and all that. In fact, I didn't pass that WAEC.
You are
So
too busy
on my way,
learning blogging.
I didn't pass my WAEC. I couldn't go home. I was scared because everybody was already telling my dad that this boy is so like he's now so stick to computers these days. Every now and then, once he's back from school, he goes to cyber cafe. Are you sure he's not into anything fraudulent or stuff like that? So one day my dad called me and asked me that what is really going on. I told him that, see, I'm trying to learn something. It's not because look at 2008, 2009, nobody knows about, just few people know about internet business. And the
Yes.
people that know about it are mostly in Lagos. And I am in the city of Ibadan. So I told my dad that, see, I'm trying to learn how computer works and all that. I'm trying to see how I can create business around it. So he was just looking at me like, what's this boy saying? Yeah, 11 years old. What do you need money for and all those things? But instead, he was like, well, uh, I'm not going to stop you from whatever you want to do. You are the one that said you wanted to become a medical doctor in the first place. So if this is what you want to choose, if this is the path you want to follow, I'm all in. As long as it's legal.
Mm, mm,
As long as it's legal and you
mm.
can prove that to me, I'm all in. I was so surprised that day that my dad will even agreed. Not knowing that before then, I've traveled to Lagos. I had to lie to him that I need to go and represent my school in Lagos. I called my teacher in school then to help me lie on my behalf to tell my dad that we have a competition in Lagos I'm going for. And guess what? I went for Owolabi seminar that day.
Wow. How old
Yes,
were you then?
I was 11 years old.
Wow.
I've never been to Lagos in my life.
Wow.
So that day I took a bus. It was even the one that dropped me at the park. So I took a bus to Lagos. It was like, where's your teacher? Are you not going with them? I told them I had to take a bus to somewhere first. So from Challenge, I took a bus going to Lagos because if I go to Lagos Park directly, we know what was going on.
Okay.
So then when I got to Lagos, I was the youngest in the room in that seminar hall. Like I can be able to pause. Like, who is this guy? What are you doing here?
Wow.
Like, when
That's like
elders
precious
are
to me. Like precious. But go ahead. When I got precious, okay.
so, so when elders are here, so what is a young guy doing here? So it was so shocked. And then I learned a lot about how to make money from other people's seminar. Like I read a lot. I don't have money. I don't have anything. So what I can do is to invest in myself by reading free ebooks online. So
Mm,
I read a free ebook about how to make money from other people's seminar. And what the person does was like how to download PLR online. You download the PLR, then you go to seminars, you try to contribute. At the end of the day, maybe during the break or at the end of the seminar, you try to sell. So
mm.
you saw the CDs with me. I printed like 100 CDs from home. So I plan to sell it for 1,000 naira each and all
Wow.
that. So
Wow.
I took it along with me to the seminar. So he saw it. So he was just so like he was shocked and impressed at the same time. He doesn't even know the expression to show. So he told me that day that he's not going to sell his own materials, but because it was a free seminar actually, that so
Okay.
everybody should buy my CD.
Mm.
So people bought my CD. So that was the day I made my first, I think, 50,000 naira
Wow.
ever. Like the first day I made my first 50,000. Look at 50,000 naira at 2000 2009 or 2008.
To
That's someone
an 11-year-old.
yeah. So I
When
was
your
so
dad
happy.
probably earned that month, I'm sure. Okay.
So I was so happy and all that. So I went down to, because what I ate on my way was just plantain chips. So I went down to, and it was Sweet Sensation he used that day. So I went down to Sweet Sensation to get a nice food I ate, and from there I went back to Ibadan. So on getting home, like the desire was strong. I know where I'm going. There's no turning back again. I know that this is what I want to do. This is the life I want to live. So, and since my parents are in support of what I'm doing, so when I got to, because I was in science class, so by the time I got to university, I have to switch to what's it called? To switch to computer science, information and communication technology. So that's why I studied, which was in line with my line of business. And even before I got into university, I failed jam 3 times. So I failed jam 3 times, but while I failed that jam 3 times, I didn't allow that get to me. I was building my business. I already registered my company. I started my IT company then in July, so I have people working with me at the end of the day. So between 2009 to 2010, I made my first millionaire.
Wow.
So by then, yeah, so I made my first millionaire on the internet, selling information products and all that. So from there was no going back. I started investing back into my business because, like I said, I learned the power of focus. I've wasted money trying to do so many things at the same time, but ever since I learned that, I just focus on that single business I was doing, which was information marketing business. So I focused on that. I started selling information products and all that. So during the process of doing all those things, I came across a website called AliExpress. So AliExpress is an e-commerce platform owned by the Chinese. But then what drew my attention to the platform was, Nigerians couldn't afford laptop then. In fact, most average people couldn't afford laptop, so quite expensive. But there's something called Tab. Yeah, all these Android tablets on AliExpress that they are so cheap. So myself and my partner created a report then how to get a laptop for 14,000 naira. And we started advertising on Success Digest Extra. We sold over 3,000 copies of
Wow.
that PDF. From there, top marketers partner with us. And trust me, that was the beginning of e-commerce in Nigeria. Everybody that started mini importation business in Nigeria are linked back to that ebook because everybody started with AliExpress. So from there, so from while we were selling the courses, I noticed that the people were selling the courses to are now importing other stuff, importing jewelries, importing bags, and making money. So I moved from information marketing business to importation.
Yourself.
I
You see
started
that they are making more
importing.
money than you.
So
Okay.
started importing stuff too from China. The beauty of most people think that, okay, all these Alaba people know that, okay, to import you have to travel to China, or you send money, or you do all those things, you book flights. But with computer, you can get people to bring in your product, even customize the products in your own name and all those things. These are the same secrets brand like MTN and others do with their modems and all that. They don't manufacture it. They just go there, give them specification, and they send it down. So from there, I moved to importation business. From importation business, I started partnering with Jumia and Konga. We started expanding. So I moved my office from Ibadan to Lagos. So we made the Lagos headquarters, then we have a branch in Ibadan. From there, we started partnering with Jumia and Konga. Later, I noticed they were making so much money off my effort. I decided to start our own e-commerce brand as well. So
I'm enjoying this. I'm not interrupting you much. Please keep going.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay.
and I,
Yeah,
and I
that
want
is
to say,
that.
I want to be
Why
sure
can't
I'm
I
not
be my own
taking
Jumia? Abi?
I want I want to be sure I'm not taking too much time.
No. I've already postponed the guy after you. It's today, me and you. So it's okay.
Oh,
Please go ahead.
okay,
All right.
great. So I started selling using e-commerce platform and all that. And one thing about business is you keep learning, you keep growing, you keep innovating and all that. At a point, we noticed e-commerce wasn't doing the magic. You see the white guys doing drop shipping, doing all sort of customized platform there. So we started using sales In fact, I can say we're just like 2 or 3 people that started using sales pages to sell e-commerce products here in Nigeria. And before you know it, everybody started doing that as well. So with that, we were making so much money. I was making millions of naira every single week, every single week, every single week, every single week. So one thing is that I can always see where I'm going. So at a point, I noticed that when it comes to information marketing in Nigeria, I've dominated that space. I've done virtually anything I think I could ever done. When it comes to e-commerce, I've done justice to it as well. So in 2016, from the money I made, I started diversifying into other business too, record labels and all those things. So in 2016, I was like, okay, I want to take my business to the next level, not just a local champion now. I want to take my business to the international level. And that's why I came across product launching, affiliate marketing, and all that. The very first post that drew my attention was from Precious Unguden when he made a post about someone did something bad to him. So he was just trying to talk about what really happened and how he struggled to get to where he is today. And what really caught my attention is how he made ₦1 billion at the age of 16. Then I used to feel like a champion there that yes, I made ₦1 million.
Is it that you have a guy in this game now?
So I used to feel like a champion that I made ₦1 million at the age of ₦1 million at the age of 16 and all that. But I was like $1 billion at the age of 17 years old. Oh my God. What is this person doing? Now some people will just be like, oh, it's a lie and all those things. And that's what differentiates people that seek knowledge. Don't write off things. Try to get to the bottom of it, get your facts right to be sure that is this person actually saying the truth or not. Once you get to the fact, then you can act on it. So it was then and I know what this person was into. Like I was talking this person for over a year and I saw everything, like everything that add up to the kind of money he's making actually. So I was like, okay, this is the next level. This is the next level for me. This is where I'm going.
Okay.
And well, lunches and all that. Yeah, it's like you can't just barge into it. You need someone to bring. You need someone to bring you in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you have to always stay relevant in whatever you do, because one thing I know is that if you're not up to a certain level, there are some people that will never move with you. I don't let it get to me. I don't get mad at it. All I just have to do is to work on myself to get to that level so I can make friends with them. Because I know that there are some people that are way, way below me that even if they message me, maybe I won't even read it. Not because I'm being pompous or proud, but it's just like that is how life is. There are some people you give priority to, and that is it. So when I came across your product, it was your webinar.
My Launchify 360. Yes. Please tell me about that one. Yes. I'm enjoying this story. Funke, I hope you are listening. Those of you out there, I hope you are listening, you are paying attention. Please go ahead.
So when I come across, I've been trying to learn this thing. Nobody is ready to teach, and I don't blame them. They have $1 million business that they have to focus on and all that. Like now too, I've been so busy that now people don't just like I have to do a training in December because people have been dragging me like, when are you doing a training and all that? And but for someone that is launching back to back, I launch every three weeks. I've done most of the things that people think is impossible in that industry.
I know.
Like I create software and I launch that software within 3 weeks. And I've been launching every 3 weeks for the last 3 years.
People miss if I gave up after a while. Say, I don't know what this doing. But go ahead, tell me how you got started. Yes.
So when I saw your post and I saw the webinar that how to actually launch products on the international scene, I was like, wow, this is, if you remember, I was so impatient that day on the webinar. All I wanted was just the link to pay for this thing.
Exactly. You can't disturb me, say, Oga, where is the link to buy this product? I'm like, who is this guy?
So immediately you drop the link. Wow. And I will say this is not even because I'm on this interview right now, or I'm on this call right now. Till today, I still have those books on my system.
Wow.
Because that's the most comprehensive product on launching I've ever come across. I'm
Wow.
saying till date. I'm saying till date. This is
Wow.
2023. And
Wow.
that's far back as maybe 4 or 5 years ago. That the most
Yeah.
comprehensive product I've ever seen.
All right, guys, are you
So,
listening? It's called Launchify 360. Okay, I
yes,
love that.
exactly. That's the name of the product.
Wow.
So I devour everything in and out, and I picked everything that I need to pick, and I run with it. So from there, I entered the launch game and all that. So my very first launch, shout out to Mr. Morrison.
Yes,
So he was he was the one that, like I said, someone has to bring you in. Every other person
we had him yesterday. He was in yesterday. Go
ahead. Great.
Yes.
So he brought me in, even though I've never met him before. Like I just messaged him on Facebook that day. Hey bro, what's up? How you doing? We don't know each other. I was like, wow, this is Seun. I said, this is Seun Ogundele. He said, I know you. I said, you know me? He said, yes, he knows me. I said, okay, I need your help, blah, blah, blah. I want to enter into this business and all. It was like, okay, no problem. And that was it. So, and one thing people need to know is that when you need people's assistance or you seek their help, you don't expect them to do everything for you. At that point in time, I already got your products. I know how to develop a product because I have an IT background. So I know all these things. So what I just needed is someone that will bring me into the system.
That will JV for you or introduce
exactly.
you. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it was like, okay, no problem. It's going to connect me with a JV partner and all that. So I did my very first launch with Tom Yezikov and Gurabura. So, and that launch did $86,000 in 7 days. Yeah.
You know what stunned me? So that let me interrupt you a little. Okay. What stunned me about you and that your product, and I'm saying this for the entire public, and I'm glad I even raised the issue. I've not even thought about the Launchify 360 package. I'm going to have him do a very thorough, proper testimonial for me. What stunned me, I know you are very excited about the product. You bought it and said, this is all I need. The everything else I got. The next thing I saw, Seun has launched a product, and I'm looking at I think that was like $70,000 I saw.
Yeah.
I said, this guy didn't even call me anymore. That's how good he is. You know, some of you out there, you see someone to come and hold your hand. He didn't say because he bought my product to figure out how to get it launched. He simply followed the process. Get a JV partner. He didn't come and ask me, how do I get a JV partner? He went to get one by himself. So I have to give you that prop. I was stunned, to be honest with you. I'm like, wow. This guy, that's when I started researching you, man. I said, okay, this guy, the youngest CEO, is just coming to this industry. But go ahead, wrap up the story. Yes.
Yeah. So from a lot of books and things I've learned about getting help from above, you have to go way beyond to do a lot yourself. Like people are busy with their lives, and when you need someone to do something for you, especially someone that is way above you, you have to show that you are different from the millions of people that are always requesting it from them. And that's exactly what I did with you, sir, as well. I know that I've gotten the material, so I need to work on it. So when you see what I've done, you've seen the effort I've put into this. If I come back to you that, sir, I need this, I need 100%. Clarification on this, you will gladly do it.
Yes.
So that's my advice to people as well. When people give you stuff to work on, don't be asking them questions that Google can answer. Don't be asking them questions that YouTube can answer. You go and do your own research. So that was what I did then. So when I did that first launch, and I know momentum is everything for me, I just want to keep going. Like I want to keep going. Like I said, I was so motivated. Precious Ungu is one of the guys. In fact, is the major guy that motivated me to come into that industry. I see what he has done, and I was like, wow, if this person can do this, then I can.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's a very good recap, or rather, what a summary, so that they don't think I was just hyping when I was introducing you. If you are just joining us, we are live with Seun Ogundele, the youngest CEO, who's been telling us how everything came together for him, and we are just starting. That was just our introductory question. And there are several things the way we do every day now when we go live with these internet millionaires is to point out some of the major lessons. The way I see it, and I'm hoping those of you at home, you are making notes as I encourage you. Look at me, I'm making my notes already. It's what I do. I learn from my proteges. I learn from people we bring. One major thing, he has said a lot that, in fact, this section itself, I'm going to go out later after the interview is over. I'm going to cut it out and just put it out there. His story, just listening to him move from his 10-year-old studying computers to where he is now, is an inspiration in itself. But several things is said, but I want to point out just three. The rest, I'm going to let you guys figure by yourself. I'm talking about the ones that impressed me the most. He said, don't get mad at successful people when they don't give you the time of day. Get better. Update yourself to be worthy of their attention. I wish most people would get that. It's a big, like, I've always known that. By the way, I'm like you. And that, like I said, you remind me of myself in your age, even though your own level was higher than mine. When in my own 20s, they call me a genius Yopi. I think they don't know about you. My point is, I never get mad when I try to get people higher than me and they're not paying attention to me. I take it as a challenge. I don't get mad at them. I understand that they have their life to live. And in any case, why would somebody who is up there go out of his way to come and pay attention to me when there are thousands disturbing him? I got to do something to make him pay attention. And that's always worked for me. And that's what we did. So if you're out there, maybe you're trying to reach a Seun who is not even responding to your calls. Or maybe you're trying to reach me. It's got nothing to do with you. Everybody's got their priority. I didn't wake up this morning thinking about you. Seun did not wake up this morning thinking about you. He wakes up this morning thinking about his own business. So don't get mad. Sometimes it's just like that. I get over 500 emails every day. I'm afraid to open my email now. I don't open it. Those who are close to me know that Dr. Ope will not open that email. I have 2 assistants. They're tired. The thing is just too much. It's only WhatsApp I do. They know that one, I will respond. So, but if you are doing great things, you don't need to look for my attention. I will come look for you. It's the way it works. So guys, that's how it works out there. Seun did not get down on anybody. He went and did what he needed to do. And eventually, he got the attention he needed to get. That to me is massive. Number 2 thing I noticed from everything he keeps saying is that he's always taking action. If you are in that mode, you can never be poor. I don't care. Yeah, it might take you a while. You might make a lot of mistakes, but eventually you're going to hit it. It's what I always tell my students. The woman with the issue of blood, the reason how she got to hear about Jesus and got her healing was she was hustling. The Bible says every day she wakes up, she tries every doctor. She was going to every doctor she can find. She spent all her money, and then she heard about Jesus. When you're hustling, trust me, you are going to get to a point, somebody will point you in the right direction. But when you're out there in your house and you're complaining, you're saying they don't want to help you, whatever, you're going to be there forever. And that's what I noticed from Seun. He's always taking action. Number 3, he's always observing trends. I'm giving you guys tools for success from Seun now. Just listening to him. All right? He's always watching trends and taking action on them. First, he started by selling a PDF. The PDF was successful. He didn't get satisfied with that and say, oh, I'm now rich. I've made my first million at the age of 16. Let me just relax. He saw that people were importing products based on the teaching he just gave. He moved into that. See, you can see the sequence from him. From that, keep moving, understanding what is going on, and then taking action on it. When he thought he was doing well, he found out about Precious Ungu, who has done $1 billion. Yes, guys, he's not joking. I know Precious very well too. When you hear this figure, it's like this Yahoo boys. This is not Yahoo, guys. So he's going to tell us about that in a bit. I'm sure he will have been accused of that many times, right? Precious is even deadlier than him when Precious was young, right? Precious made $1 billion naira at the age of 17. B as in billion. And he wasn't doing Yahoo. We all know what he was doing. He was doing software. He was launching products in Warrior Forum and Warrior Plus is what he was doing. When people like us don't even know what that was. We don't even know what that was like. And he was 17, 18. And he became a legend. I knew that in the place called Warrior Forum or Warrior whatever. Yeah, Warrior Forum. He became a legend at the age of 17. He got inspired with that. I mean, yeah, man, I'm making 10, 20, 30 million. Yeah, somebody with a billion. Let me go there. If only you guys would get that curious. And I'm talking to those of you looking at me from Facebook, from Twitter right now. Rather than assuming somebody who's doing much better than you is doing scam or doing fraud, shadowing. We had Seun say it. He said, I shadowed Precious for a year to figure out what this guy was doing. What are you doing other than gossiping with people? Are you following those who are successful to figure out what they're doing? Or you are busy joining guys who are calling them scammers? That is what I learned from Seun. And of course, do your own work. Nobody's going to do it for you. People can give you all the training in the world, which is my number one frustration, me personally, with some of my proteges. They like attending conferences. They like attending workshops. Yeah. They're forcing you to come and do another workshop for them. The point is, when you do it for them, are they going to go ahead and follow through?
Take action.
Yes, or they're going to start blaming you. I had a very dear friend, okay? I hope she doesn't get mad that I'm telling this story online, even though I won't mention her name. I can see that this lady, she's even elderly, okay? So she's a senior. She's close to retiring, like me. She's even older than me by a couple of years. And she was always complaining about no money, nothing to retire and another. And I'm like, you can do this digital business thing. That within a year, the kind of money you'll be making with more than what you have made in the last 10 years working in some stupid office in Ireland, so or England or France or wherever you are working. And every day she says, yeah, I'm going to get it. I taught her how to do ebook without even having to write a word. And she said, I've mastered it, but nothing, she won't get one done. She will call me every step of the way. So eventually I realized that, okay, this person has turned me to a God. Okay, no problem. I know what I'm going to do. So I called her. I said, okay, I'm going to hire you for that your country. You'll be my director there. We are going to publish this book because she's very good on getting scholarships, on getting admission to foreign schools and all that, even though she's not doing anything with it. So I said, okay, we'll partner together. This is what, you already know what to do. I gave her a list. I said, if you can do this in the next 1 week, we are going to co-launch this together. I will spend money to help you, and I can guarantee you, we will start making at least $2,000-3,000 a day doing webinars on this thing for you. She was very excited. She went to do it. She got all the research done. She got the book ready. Now, to put it out there, she's waiting for me. And I'm like, I'm not your God. And then she gets mad. She sent me a message once, twice, 3 times. And then she wrote me a stinker. Finally, I lost it. And I called her. I said, you really think I want to co-author a book with you? I have 56 books on Amazon, 56. I don't need to co-author with you. It's just to challenge you. Now you have done the book. I've just proved to you that you can do this stuff. You did it in 3 days.
Wow.
Why are you still upset that I'm not now coming to come and say, okay, let's go get a graphic designer? I already gave you the name of my graphic designer. Just go to the guy. A lot of people are like that. They don't want to do any work. Now you will be shocked. And I'm telling everyone listening now, because Seun was said a lot. I want to make sure you learn the lessons that are very important for your career there. You will be in shock if you go ahead and just execute some of what you know. Some of you are listening to me now. You already know everything you needed to know to become a millionaire. Sure. You're not doing it because you're waiting for Seun, you're waiting for Ope Banwo, you're waiting for them to come and help you. Seun just said, all I bought from Dr. Ope Banwo is his product called Launchify 360. It was a training. He didn't sign up for mentorship like I told you guys. In fact, I didn't even know I was going to bring it up again. I mentioned your name several times. I said he didn't come and sign up for one-on-one coaching. The boy just took the team from me, and the next thing I know, he has launched a product. I was even telling them $70,000, $86,000. The difference between him and you listening to me right now, I'm talking to all of you that are my proteges or my students, or who have been stalking me on the internet, or stalking Seun, or stalking Ifiok, or Victory. The reason why you still poor is because you don't believe you can do it. You already know everything you need to know. You can't buy Launchify 360 and be complaining, I don't know how to launch a product. Seun is living evidence. He didn't talk to me again. He paid me my money, collected his product, and never heard from him again until I saw him on JVZoo leaderboard. What's the difference? It's step by step. You're out there. I'll tell you guys my own short story on this point, because the whole idea of this series is to ginger people, okay, who have the potential to become millionaires and billionaires, but who are not doing it because for some reason they are hung up. For some of you, your hang up is no longer knowledge. If you have been to any of my workshops before, you guys know I'm over thorough. I will over teach self. Okay, so if you have been to any of my workshops before, I don't care if it's Fish for Life, I don't care if it's Netpreneur Apprentice, whichever one you've been, you know enough, because I also give you, I always give away my products, I give you my books, so you know everything. What is missing? You don't believe. You heard me say, oh, I made over $3 million 3 years ago, 1 year. You think, it's not possible. You had Seun just now. It's calling figures that look like monopoly money. Okay, okay. Because to some of you guys, it's monopoly. Whenever I say it's not over $10 million in the last 5 years, you're like, whatever. All these boys have started. It is true. It's even not counting a lot, because if I had to count some of his business for him now, he would know there's more than 10 million. But you don't believe it. I was like that, guys. And I want you to look at me in the eye very. That's why I'm looking straight into the camera. I was exactly like you. I wanted to go into digital business. I was already very successful as a lawyer. I was successful as an entertainer. I was managing some of the biggest names in Nigeria entertainment. I had a record label. I had lots of success in all those areas. But digital business, for some reason in my head, I just got caught up on this guy called Omar Martin. I love him, just like he was mentioning Owolabi. I came across Omar Martin and I just fell in love with the guy. That this guy knows his stuff. I would travel everywhere. I went to cruises with him. Before, we've gone to 7 in a row before COVID. Before then, I went to 3 of them. Before I launched my first product in 2016, I went to 3 cruises with him. I went to all his events in Florida. I bought all his products. But unlike Seun, I didn't go out there and go and launch anything. I kept saying this guy is going to be my salvation. When I launch, Omar Martin will launch me, and we're going to do, I was even thinking $50,000, that I would love to make 50,000. I was following this guy around. And he also admired me because he saw some of the stuff I've done. He knows I'm not just one of those guys just hanging around. I bring value. My wife knows him. My wife knows his wife. We've gone to dinner lunch with him. But I won't launch. I signed up for his product launch program. I paid $10,000. I still won't launch. Waiting for him. So I joined his final program. It's called something in our circle. So after I paid, he gave us one phone number. I'm telling everyone this story today. And that, my friend, the one I just mentioned, the lady, I hope you are hearing this. I know you are still mad at me, but I wanted you to be mad at me. It's why I didn't pick up your phone. Listen to this story. The way you are following me around, expecting me to be the one that will be your savior in that your project, is the way I was following my Martin. Then he gave me one number, which is an access number. I didn't know. I forgot the name of the software now. When you message that number, it turns it to a phone call and calls him. I didn't know that. It just said for my inner circle people, you can message me anytime you want with this email. It was an email address. So here was 11 p.m. I got a brainwave and I wanted to ask him a question as one of his students. Then I sent that message. Message then converted to phone and called him in his house at 11 p.m. And he got mad. I didn't know that. And then himself and his wife, I said, what is wrong with this guy? He's too forward. They are still discussing me in their house. Me, I didn't know that they were mad at me already. So the next day, he didn't call me. As I posting on our mutual threads. Oh, have you seen Omar Martin? Have you seen Omar Martin? Basically, I didn't know I was debranding him because he's supposed to be my coach and I'm making it sound like I can't reach him. So he saw that and got mad. And then he called me straight up from that. What's wrong with you? Is it because you paid me 10,000? As a matter of fact, it's not your type that we want in my coaching program. You feel you're too big to be in it, brother. You are fired. He fired me as a student. Just like I just fired you, my sister, if you are hearing me. All right? Because the lady was told when I said I fired you, I don't want to talk to you again. In fact, I'm blocking you, is what I told her. So he's fired me. And it was like my life shattered. Seriously. Despite the fact that I've been successful in everything. I mean, I've argued cases in Supreme Court, for God's sake. I've represented some of the biggest names. But this digital thing was in my head. So I was downstairs in my basement, just sulking, almost close to tears. Then my wife came down. This is 2016, I can never forget. August 2016. Where everybody out there see me as a very big, successful, even digital marketer. Even then, I already had some major successes. I used to bring a lot of internet people to Nigeria for courses. I've already started having proteges, plenty of them. But software launching, I've never done. And that was what was in my heart, like Seun. I was focused on that and that alone. Everything else I'd already passed that out. I don't care. I want to learn this software. So I was like, wow. So my wife came down, saw me sad, almost crying. So it's like, what happened? And then I told her the story. Of course, she knows Mama Martin very well. We've met at least 20 times. So she's like, so, okay. So when I finished, I was expecting my wife to feel sorry for me and to say, it's like, you know the way women do. Hey, I don't know what America has done to my husband do. It's what she said. He said, is this Ope Banwo that I'm hearing and you want to cry? Because some guy that if you are even going to hire, you wouldn't even hire him as your manager to start with. It's not that Mama Martin, I met him now. I don't care if it's a software guru. That it's not the same Ope Banwo that at the age of 25 you bought your first house for cash in Ikoyi. It's not the same Ope Banwo that started to recite me. Even my own, it's like you now. It's like you getting down, and then your wife sitting you down. Say, "Have you read anyone for money? What did I have done to my husband? That it's not you at 17 that you did this. It's not you at 21." So when my wife finished reciting my life for me, she said, "Well, if you like, don't eat it. It's food she brought. Me, I'm going upstairs." She just left the food and went up. Disgusted. Then and I started thinking that it's true. Why? That it is very true. Just like I'm expecting you, my sister, if you are listening to me, I'm speaking to you directly through this medium because I love you so much. Okay, I hope you are watching this on Facebook. So I got upset. I started. Then my anger blew up. That how can this boy do this to me? Who is this guy? Okay, I'm going to launch this software. I'm fucking. That's what I said. This was August. Then I went to look for Ifiok. Ifiok was one of my boys then, but he's a bit technical. And I called him, let's launch a product together. To cut a long story short, this happened towards the end of August when my coach fired me, right? November 9th, that same year, September, October, November, 2.5 months later, we launched our first product. And guess what? We did $430,000 that month, November 2016, my very first launch. First ever, $430,000 with my partner Ifiok. My point here is that I ended up that year, I think, with about $800,000 in sales. I did more than my coach that year because we talk about it later. He's still my coach tomorrow, even though he gets upset when he gets embarrassed when I call him my coach. But it's my coach. I learned everything from him. He felt he didn't really take me over the finish line. No, but his firing me was him taking me over the finish line. Because if he had not done that, I would still be relying on him till tomorrow. Maybe I will still be here trying to launch a product. In which case, Seun will have figured out a different way to find a product to launch. Now Seun will not give me testimonial. Are you saying? So my point was that you know enough. I realized that I already bought everything from this guy that I needed. I have all his books. Okay. I've watched him demonstrate how to launch a product. So what am I waiting for? Let me just go do what I already have. And I didn't buy any new product. I didn't get any new coach. The same knowledge that I've had, that I've been chasing him around, is what I used. And that's your problem at home now if you're watching me. You've already bought Seun Ogundele's products. His books have sold thousands. I checked it online. So you probably have a copy of it. Maybe you have my own. Maybe you have Ifiok's own. Or maybe you have watched it on YouTube. But somehow, you don't think you deserve $86,000 your first launch. You don't think you deserve 100. And you'll be stunned if you go out there. I'm taking my time to preach to every one of you listening to this. You are looking at Seun, a young man at the age of 16, who more or less self-drove himself to success. And why is he successful? He's not waiting for any man. He never mentioned, see everything he said, he never ever mentioned, I was waiting for Owolabi. I went to Owolabi's conference is what he said. After that, I didn't say, I was still trying to cause Otumba now. I know it's one big title now. Is it Otumba? Otumba. He didn't say, I tried to find Otumba Owolabi and he didn't have time for me. One-time deal. The man helped him, he moved on. I hope you learned something today. If you don't learn anything, you have enough. Some of you watching this, you have learned enough. All that remains is for you to dare. Seun dared, and the rest is history. All right, that's my talking points on that. Let's move to the next. We have not even yet reached your questions. I just it's introduction we are still doing. There is this thing I want you to clear for me before we start going to more of the nitty-gritty here.
Okay, sir.
While researching you again, this one was not researching because that was actually what brought you to my attention properly the first time. How I saw a story online about how you made 26 million in your teenage years because of your love for Wizkid. I want you to share with us that story and the lessons you learned from that and how people can benefit from that. Because like I said, we can't just pigeonhole you, and the interview is already playing out like that. It's very different from everyone. You guys, I'm sure you know that this format is different from the ones that have come before, but Seun is different. So just take me with him like that. So tell me about Wizkid and your 26 million story. Go for it.
Okay, so thank you for asking this question.
Yes.
Well, most of my friends back in universities, back when I was young, knows this about me. Now, I think everybody have where they draw inspiration from. Now, I like, and it's always good when you can see yourself in other people. Now, growing up, when I started internet business, I was the youngest in Nigeria. I was the youngest internet marketer in Nigeria. And that's why I was given an award of Amazing Student Millionaire, yes, in 2010 by Success Digest Extra as well. I was the youngest.
And you were 17 then, like 16
yeah.
or 17, exactly. Yes. I remember.
So, so I was the youngest then. So, why I love Wizkid so much was, if you look at where I was at that point in life and where Wizkid was at that point in life, Wizkid was the youngest artist in Nigeria at that point in time.
At 16 or something, I remember, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So, anytime I look at him and I see what he's doing, I feel if this guy is dominating the music industry, there's nothing stopping me from dominating the digital marketing space. So anytime I feel like giving up, or I feel like, oh, this is not working so well for me, how do I go about this? I just look at him that this guy is doing it over there. So let me keep doing it over here as well. So it's like a motivation for me. And I love him. I can relate to his music, his struggles and all that. So because starting, just like I used to tell people, nobody owe you anything. If you want to be successful, then you owe yourself that success, because the truth of the matter is that who enjoys the success the most? You enjoy it first before any other person, before your wife, before your family, before your kid, before any other person. Now, I do tell people, just like you said, everything you need to make money, most people already know it. They are just scared to take action, or they just believe that there's still one magic wand that this person is hiding from me that has not revealed to me that really bringing that money, whereas you know everything. And if you really want it that bad in life, you go for it. I remember when I started business, I couldn't go to anybody to get money to start my business. What did I do? I got a job as a computer operator and I was being paid 4,000 naira per month. Yes. Not my parents don't even know about this. The only person that knew about it was my elder brother, because why will I be working? Like, what am I working? I just lied to them that I was learning computer, but my dad knew that something was off. You know computer already, so why will you say you're learning computer? And he dropped me there every single day. Even the owner of the computer operator will be like, a computer firm will be like, this boy that your father used to come and drop you with this type of car, why are you working here? But like I said, once you have a goal, you know where you're going. So I don't buy all this. I don't have money to start a business. I don't have money to buy this. I tell people, don't tell me that. God forbid, let's say someone close to you have cancer or is really, really sick, and you need to get ₦1 million in the next 5 days. 90% of people,
they will find
90% of people will get that money. And the truth of the matter is that 90% of the people may not even have 1,000 naira in their bank accounts.
At the time.
But that is life. So if your dream is not that big for you to pursue that way, then nothing else matters. So I know this is what I want to do. Nobody's going to borrow me money. Nobody's going to give me money. So I worked and I saved my first 50,000. That was what I used to start the business then. So when it comes to Wizkid, I understand the struggles, where it was coming from, how he got to EME, and he's a very hardworking and talented artist.
Mm.
And these are the same traits I have too. Anybody can tell you. It's until now that I don't work like Jack again. Back then, when I was just starting, I can be in front of computer from 8 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. at night.
Welcome to my world. Exactly.
That
And
is
you don't
me
feel
for you.
tired.
So I work like crazy. So many things that I can relate with Whiskey. So I just see him as a motivation for me. Like that's just it. So that's why I said like the love I have for him, like that's what keep me going in my industry. That if this young guy is dominating the music industry, so obviously there's nothing stopping me from going way, way beyond where I am right now in the digital marketing space.
So basically,
And
it's
it's
like
valid today.
all right, I was actually going to dovetail into a question I would have asked, but you're already answering it. But I'll put it better in context so that you can then answer it for everybody, because you mentioned something very important, that because it was an inspiration. You are looking at him, that if this guy can do it, I can do it, and inspired you. So I ask you, okay, that you've had all these successes at a very early age. People, what you have done before you turn 30, some people will never do until they die. All right. So what's your why? You know, what is your why? Why do you do it?
Growing up, I grew up in an average family. Yeah, and
Your
both
family is
my
not average. Your
parents.
father is a doctor. He's not average. He's not average. I know what average
so,
is. But go on.
so I see like how they impact people. It gives them joy. My mom till today, like sorry to say this on live call, whenever I send my mom money till today, like right now as I'm talking, I know that 90% of that money she will not spend it. At times I even wonder why I keep sending this woman the money, because the money is always going to everybody else except.
Okay.
So I see how they impact people, and at the point in time, like there are some things that gives you joy, that gives you inner joy and all that. So growing up, seeing my parents, how they help people, how they live life, and even with the little that they have, I know that if I have so much, I can also impact a lot of people as well. So there are a lot of things I do that I don't publicize. I just believe is personal. Whatever I need to put out there has to do with my business, my brand, and all that. So I always want to have enough. I want to live in abundance to impact people and all. That has always been my why. And because I've seen both sides in life, when we have so much and when we didn't have much.
You don't
Like
want to
I've
not
seen
have much. You don't want to not have much, right?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want
very,
to.
very good.
So,
Right.
so I'm going to say this. So why it got to a point that I had to change my school when I was in primary school. I went, I went to the best private school in my area. So, but when things happened financially, governments weren't paying salary, all sort of things and all that, I have to switch from a private school to a public school. The first 1 month was bad for me. I started hiding from my friends. I couldn't show face, like people that would go to private school together. Now I'm in public school and all that, all those things. So all those period, I was like, I need to make my money. The deal breaker for me was now in 2008. Remember, I started learning internet business in 2009. 2008, I wanted to travel to United States for my first degree. I've been downloading all sort of materials, TOEFL, SAT
You're
exam,
probably like
their
14,
question
15
paper.
around that time now. About 14, 15
Yes,
at this time.
yes,
Yeah, about 15,
yeah.
16. Okay.
So I was downloading the material, studying and all that. So I was so excited about it and all. So when I told my dad that, okay, so I'm ready for this is what I want to do. And all my friends, some of them has traveled, some of them are planning to write the exam too and all. So it was like I was the only one left. So and he told me that you won't be able to fund it.
Hey.
I cried. It was as if my dream was shattered. It was that day, that night, that I made up my mind that nothing in this world will stop me from making my own money. Like, when it's different when someone wants to help or wants to do something for you and they don't have, and when someone doesn't just want to do at all. Yeah, that was the pain. He actually wanted that life for me,
But you
but
didn't have
I
the money.
couldn't just get it. Yes, at that point in time. So it was that day. That was the deal breaker for me in 2008. That no, I can't keep living like this. I can't live an average life. I must make money, abundance of it, and legally, not illegally, because I don't have mind. I can't do anything that is illegal. So it has to be a legal will. So I trusted the process, and I know what I want from day one. I know the kind of money that I want, and I know when to move to the next level. One thing I've actually realized in life is that there's some kind of business that can never give you certain kind of money.
Hmm.
So once you know that you've reached the climax of that business, then you move to the next thing.
Next one. Hmm.
So
Interesting.
that was
That's
it
a
for
why.
me. It was that 2008 when I wanted to travel to the United States and there was no money to fund that trip. I was like, no,
I
I
get
need
it.
to
You need
I
to
need
get
to
your
make my
make
own
your own
money.
money. Guys, you just had it. Everybody I know that has been successful bigly, they have a big why. And that why is touches deep. It's not just something that, and that is what you have to find if you're out there. Maybe the reason why you're not being aggressive to be successful right now is that you don't have a big why. Maybe you're comfortable. Maybe there is nothing major driving you. You got to find your why. When I tell people my own why, my own why moves. Now my why is I want to raise up as many young people in Africa as possible. But when I first started, just when I was young, when I didn't start as young as you. I graduated normally like every normal human being. I finished even though I was pretty smart, I finished at the age of 20, right? I finished then graduated law school, 21. And then I started a job. I was okay. I mean, I graduated in the top 10 in my class, so I've always been very smart. I've always been coming first, but I didn't have any burning desire to be anything major or anything. It was just like coasting through life. Even the law that I went to read, it was because they say, oh, this man likes to argue a lot. Okay, let him go through law. It's not as if I have any passion, and it's showing. It's not as if I have any overriding passion to be a lawyer. It's just what they thought, and it was the biggest thing. If you are doing arts in those days, law is number one. Everybody will pick for all the over-intelligent people. But so I graduated. I even joined Arthur Anderson as the first 2-1 person they will ever employ. They only employ first class. But if it doesn't give first class in those days, so I was able to convince them through so many interviews, they hired me. So I was coursing through life. Honestly, I wish I could tell people, yes, I grew up in a face me facing. Okay, Fade is where I grew up. I won't say we were poor because I didn't even know we were poor, but we were poor to the point that me and my senior brother at one point had only one uniform between us. It was a public school. So he is in the morning, then they had money in the afternoon. So me, I'll go and hide by Olonode Street. So when it finishes, we'll go to one corner and then we will change clothes because we had only one pair each. Then I think my own got torn on his own. And we couldn't tell daddy that the thing has torn, he will kill you. Okay, so we were for a whole year, we were sharing one uniform. There were 6 of us, brothers and sisters, with 2 cousins living with us. That's 8, plus my father and mother, that's 10. And we lived in a room and parlor. The room is from daddy and mommy. So the remaining 8 of us, we sleep on the floor on any mats in the parlor. No, you can't call it living room, it's parlor. So that but what I'm trying to say is that didn't motivate me. I didn't feel I was poor. That's the problem. I never felt I was poor. There's really nothing I really wanted that I wasn't getting because I was in my circle of poor guys. So our ambition, no reach. I think my highest ambition there was when we are going home, we see those girls in primary and nursery school. They're like close to us. That they are doing this Jangrova thing, this swing thing. We don't have it.
Okay.
And then we'll wait for them to come out and then we'll beat them. That we just terrorize them. So it was fun for me. It was not like you people are doing Jangrova, we'll kill you today. So when they come out, we'll start beating all these rich kids. But I wasn't motivated to be rich because I really didn't see myself as poor until one day And this may sound hilarious to you listening. I like to tell the story to let you understand that anything can be your why. You had Seun's own. He saw the pain in his father's eyes. His father wanted to do it, but he could not. And that sparked something in him that is still there till today. Same way with me. I'm very competitive. Okay. That is where what happened here. Typically, I'm competitive in everything. Okay. So this day, I was already in Ato Anderson. My best friend, I was living in the house in Ikoyi. His father was a FRC, and so they had this official house in Ikoyi. They are not rich, but they live in Ikoyi, right? The father had this Opel record that he had driven for about 25 years before he retired. He put it on a tire, you know, the way they put a car that has run down, right?
Yeah.
They call it Onoriodo car. You probably won't know that now. You're not a butter boy. I don't think you know that.
I'm not.
So we rehabilitated the car after we got a job. He also was in Ato Anderson. So Ato Anderson was very prestigious, but they don't pay well. My salary a year was 26,000 naira, 2,000 naira a month is what I was earning in 1990. So it was not like it was big money. It was okay, but nothing compared to bank, right? So we rehabilitated the car, the Opel record, repainted it, but when you are looking at it, you know that this is a jalopy of the highest order. But to us, we have a car. So we drove that car to this party, and that is where my life changed till today. So we went to that party, and the party was the birthday of my friend's sister that went to Ife together. It was his junior sister that was doing birthday. So at that party, and I met this fine girl. And people might say, just wait, your wife could come from anywhere. And I'm not capping when I say that's where I got my wife from. So I met this girl, I toasted her, and everything was okay. And we are like going to go from this party, we're going to go to Lord's nightclub. All right, that was what was reigning then. Lord's was the #1 nightclub in Lagos then. And we are just young boys in our early 20s. So we are just rocking. So, and then she came with a friend to that party. So my best friend, who is also now a billionaire in real estate right now in Nigeria, but we are living together then, best friends from Ife, also toasted his friend. So, of course, that's how it always works. Now, since there are two, and we are two, we have to pair up now, right? So, we are very happy, and we're about to get into the car. They were still just messing us that with this car start, and we're all laughing. So, as we are still laughing, it comes. I used to mistake Daneil. It was not Okoya. The last time I talked about it, I mentioned them as Okoya children. They're not Okoya. They're Tejo boys. These kids, our age mate, not sugar daddy type of thing. I'm talking about our age mate. Maybe I'm even like 1 year older than them. They're young boys like us. They just rode into the party with a brand new BMW series. Brand new. 3 series I can never forget. Wow. I can never forget it. This is 1991. I can never forget this story. So they drove into the party. There are 2 of them in the car, shining black tin like this. So unfortunately for me and my friend, one of them knew the girl, the friend of the girl that I was toasting. Okay, I'm not mentioning the name. I'm going to mention the name of the girl right now. But before I get there, because I want them to be hearing me. So the friend that was that came with the girl I was toasting knew one of them. So they just called her and they started talking. We were still by our car trying to start. In fact, the car was even giving problem to get in the car. So, so this girl, apparently, the dad told her that they want to take them to club too. So the girl now came and spoke to her friend, the one that I was toasting. They whispered to each other. The next thing I'm hearing is that, well, that it was that girl that brought her here, and that her friend wants to take them to a club. So they're sorry, they can't go with us now, blah, 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 blah. That she would have loved to go with us, but her friend, that there's going to, blah, blah. Long story, they abandoned us, and they went with those boys. Now, it sounds like a trivial story. On our way home, my friend was mental. That what just happened? That is what I've been telling you, okay? We need to make money. If we have money, I will not rest. Then, me, that was not even upset initially, because the girl was very nice about it. She gave me a number and said I should call her, that she had no choice because they will be taking her home, blah, blah, blah. Now I'm getting angry. Now I'm thinking it again now. It's not saying, that's what I told you. First he said, well, see, if our parents had been rich, will not be, it's their father's car they are driving. So I now reminded him, but it's your father's car too we are driving now. So now got him very angry too. That this one, you are not hearing me, that if we have money, if our parents have money, this can never happen. And that if we don't make money, this can happen to our children. Can you imagine the embarrassment? And remember, outside everybody was there. We that we have been feeling like champion because the girl I was toasting was the most beautiful there. I'm not boasting. So everybody has been envying us. All of a sudden, some two stupid boys, Tejo boys, just came and collected those boys to get from. Now me, I'm very angry. I'm not so. It's because they have money. We have to have our own money. It sounded like a joke, but a fire before I've been ordinary. I've been okay. You know, I was intelligent. I knew that, but I wasn't hot for money. I didn't. That day, I knew I was poor. That day, I swore I'd die on the street of Lagos if I don't make money. And that was the day everything changed. The way I was looking at this was different. And guess what? Less than a year later, I was group managing director of a group of 5 companies that I didn't even start. That's how my aggression went to a whole supernova level. To the point that the owner of that company mistook me for a partner in Ato Anderson. And me, I was just a management trainee. It's a whole long story about how I got that job. All of a sudden, from a 26,000 naira a year job, I got this job that pays me 260,000 naira a year, times 10 my salary. And now I was group managing director of 5 major companies in 1991. Okay, I was 25. So now I'm not a big man. Now I have official car, and I had official apartment. Now, but guess the end of the story. The end of the story here is, guess what? Now, as the group managing director of the company, I went to hire all my own seniors to be the MDs of the subsidiary. I didn't have to run a company. So when they made me MD, I went back to Ato Anderson and hired my own managers to now be people who are going to be reporting to me, right? So now everything was going good. I was tough guy. My chairman doesn't even come to office much. I'm the all in all. Then guess who walked into the office? I want one guess. Who walked into the office looking for a job as a secretary? Just one guess.
Of course, the lady.
The lady. Okay. So, and of course, my best friend, when I got that job, the first person I offered one of the job of managing director of the subsidiary to was my best friend. So he's also managing director of one of the companies. So both of us try to imagine 35-year-olds. So we're having fun. Then I saw this girl. You know, I didn't even remember her. To be honest, this was like maybe 9 months after. You know, so they had finished hiring her. She's done the interview, but I have to sign off as the group CEO. The subsidiary company has hired her as the secretary to the CEO, and then they brought her up for me to sign off. So they put her down. I'm looking at the resume, and me, I'm still doing my official stuff. And so I saw that the way the girl was smiling. Look at me, you know, that small smile, as if of course. Oh, there's this guy forming for me now. I didn't know. So I'm like, do I know you? So it's like, what do I mean? That I met her in the clinical 9 months ago. I'm like, is you? Wow. I said, wait. So I ran to my best friend's office. That girl is here. That girl is here. It was very funny. But guess what? That girl is Olunike Ajoke, my wife, till the last 30 years. Wow. So I want to tell you, show boys, now I got the girl. Fuck you. I got the girl. Fuck you on there. So, wow. So my point is that I love to tell the story because and once I got fired up like that, it couldn't stop. Now I was going from strength to strength. Now I want to dominate. I want to be in a position where nobody can take anything away from me, no matter what it is. So for me, that was my wife for years. You know, even when everything crashed, what motivated me to come back up again? I lost my finance company 4 years later. Everything crashed with Forum and all that. But I know I can't stay down. That means they can take my wife. That means they can take what belongs to me. That means they can take my house. That's being in a position where I'm never going to feel helpless. Like the way I felt when the girl said, I'm not going to go to the party with you anymore and you can't do anything. I never wanted to feel that. Just like Seun was saying, that he never wanted to have that feeling again in his life, where he saw his dad who was trying to help him, but he could not because he had no money. That was his wife. That was my wife. It sounds trivial, but it's not. I am very, very competitive. I tried not to be in a position. So when I want to give up, when things were bad, and it's been bad sometimes. 2003, after I did over $3.5 million in 2001, I ended up in bankruptcy in America, official bankruptcy, where I lost everything, houses, cars, everything, and I had to start from zero again. 2003. You know what kept me going? No, you can't stay down. You can't stay down. Who's to say your wife won't leave you? I didn't have that fear. I mean, she probably wouldn't have. I have the fear she probably wouldn't have left me. She did everything I wanted, but it's inside of me. Who's to say they won't take my children? Who is to say, you know, that my wife keeps me till now when I want to feel content? Okay, you have kids now. What if they want to chance your kids tomorrow? What if your kids need to travel to whatever they need to do and you don't have money? What are you going to feel? So guys, if you are listening to me here, you can laugh at my why. It don't matter. It's my why. What is yours? There's something there somewhere that upsets you inside of you. There's something somewhere that when you wake up in the morning, gives you sleepless night. That's your why. You got to hold on to that, because if you don't have a why, trust me, it's very easy to be complacent. You won't even know you're suffering. Like I told you guys, I grew up what people say very poor background. It didn't motivate me. It didn't make me feel, because I never saw that my dad wanted to do anything for me that he couldn't do. And that's the truth. Anything I ever wanted that I know to want, my dad could do for me. The idea of going to London or whatever never occurred to me in that father area. How will I occur to me? All we do is play soccer and roll tire. So what can I want other than a used tire? And my father will find that one. See? So depending on where you are, guys, your why is critical, and that's why I needed to bring that up with Seun today. Your why, and I'm glad he shared that, because I know there has to be a strong why somewhere. Nobody wakes up and continues to hustle like him. Even after he has made millions, maybe billions in Naira, he's still out there. Something is driving him. What is driving you? Me is when I'm done, I want them to be able to say, this guy helped 10 million people. I want to be able to look at some guys that I work with that are doing crazy stuff. So, but my aggression now is not as much as it was 20 years ago, because I'm doing this because I want to. I don't have to. Seun too is working now because he wants to. He doesn't have to. What about you? All right, Seun, thank you so much for sharing that. Now, I'll ask one more crazy question, and then maybe we can finally get to the meat of the question. But we're already doing the meat, guys. I hope you guys are getting a lot from just hearing Seun talk and me exchanging with him like we always do here. This is not a journalist. I ask questions and answers. We're having a conversation. All right. In case you're wondering why is this man talking so much, we're having a conversation. All right. Yes, Seun, what's the craziest thing that has happened to you? While researching you, I came across another story. I'm like, this boy. I came across another story where you are very big on AdSense, Google AdSense. Then one day you woke up, $20,000 has been seized by Google AdSense, and they had closed your account. And I'm like, whoa, that is got to hurt. Tell me about that. What happened with the Google AdSense, how you lost money and how you dealt with it, and the lessons you learned from that. Go, your turn.
So when that was 2010, like I said, the fear of poverty is the beginning of wisdom for me.
I hear you 100%.
So I don't get comfortable. Like even my peers, I've seen people ask me that, how do I execute things so fast? I've seen marketers comment like, there's this.
You are crazy. Every 3 weeks launch. You are insane.
Yes. His name is Toyin Omotosho. He's one of the top marketers here in Nigeria.
Yeah, he's been interviewed
he made a comment one day on Facebook, and I don't know why he did that. That Seun is a brutal action taker. Like, I don't know where that was coming from and no, but that is me. Once I get, because you act on it immediately. The moment you just leave that info and you start having a second guess and all that, that's the end. So when this information marketing business was booming, so I was like, okay, it's time to diversify into something else. So I learned Google AdSense and all that, blogging. So I saw a lot of people, that's just me. Like, I don't get comfortable, and when I don't get comfortable, I seek knowledge. I don't care. I think that's another problem people have. When they make money, they feel comfortable, and this life keeps moving. So if you don't keep updating yourself, you don't keep adding values, adding skills to yourself, you will become irrelevant. So while I was still doing that, so I was like, okay, let me venture into Google AdSense and all that. I started searching for different materials and all. I even paid some guys training field to train us how to do these things. It was just rubbish at the end of the day. So like I was traveling around from Ibadan. I went to Lagos at a point. I later went to where is Osu? Yeah, I went to that university in Osu. I can't remember the name of that university again. So I went there. I met a guy on Facebook, so I went to meet that guy there. It was not that guy that trained us on AdSense. So getting back to Ibadan, then I started doing the AdSense thing, started making money. I got checks. Like it was even day before yesterday. I was just looking at one of the check that I deposited into my bank that day because I took screenshot. I was like, wow, Sean, you've come a long way. So I started making money from AdSense as well. Sometimes 1,005 euros, sometimes 2,000 euros. So at a point we were making so much. So that was like my biggest earning so far. So and that was like after how many months? So it was like 15,000 or 20, yeah, 15,000 euros. So that's like $20,000 or something. As at that time. So I was like, you know, the way people plan for money that is not.
That is not in your hand.
I was like, no, hey, when this
I'm going to
money
build
drop,
house with this one.
I'm buying my first car. This area that I've been living in one because at that point in time, I wasn't living with my dad again.
Okay.
A big shout out to Olaide Harlem. So that
Okay.
was my first business partner ever.
Okay.
We were, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We started business together then. We
Okay.
started information
Oh,
marketing,
how is
all
my
the
boy?
business.
How is he? I've not heard of him in a while. Huh?
He's fine. He's doing great.
You need to send me his number. I need to interview him. Yeah, I was looking for his number. Yes, but go ahead.
No
Yes.
problem. I will
Yeah.
do that. So
Okay.
we
Right.
started. We were living together in Agbo then. So
Okay.
that was how we started doing AdSense. So
Okay.
all of a sudden, then this banning rampage was just going on with Google. They started banning accounts and all that.
Yes, mine was
And so
bad too.
we got our check, and that time it was check. You wait, man, you wasted after any a month earning, you get a check after like 15 days, then you wait for another 15 days for that check to clear when
Yeah.
you deposit it into the account. So we got that check from Google, we deposited the check into our account, and after that, we were waiting for the money to drop and all that. All of a sudden, I just got a message the next morning. That was in I think that was in July that year. I can't forget that year, July. So I got the message. Your account has been disabled.
Ha.
Ha.
Voila.
I
Voila.
wanted to face that day. I was shocked. I don't even know, maybe to cry, to scream. Like I was just like, how come? How can this happen? Like I've spent so much money on adverts and everything just went down the drain. So when all this happened, like I was like, well, we need to move forward. But that was when I learned my biggest lesson in business.
Hmm.
Any business I'm doing and I don't control the money, that is, the money doesn't come to me directly, that is going through third party, I will never do such business. And
Hmm.
that's why if you notice from 2011 till date, any business I'm doing, I'm in control of the money. That's why I don't do
It's like
all
that
this.
also. Yes.
So any business that I'm not in control of the money, like the money doesn't come directly to my account, maybe I will be at the mercy of someone that they will have to release my money from me or something. I wouldn't.
Hmm.
And that's why people come with different opportunities that time that I should come and venture into this business. But as long as I look at the model and I know that I'm not in control of the business,
Agree.
most importantly, the money,
You don't
I'm
want
not
to
interested. So
care.
that was my biggest takeaway from Google. So ever since that time, I stopped anything that we have to be with third party, that money we drop there, then they will not be the one to be paying me. No. So
Hmm.
I stick to my information marketing business then. And after some time, I moved to importation business.
Hmm.
So all the businesses that I've done after that has to do with business that I'm in control of my money. The money comes to me directly. And even if anybody wants to act funny, like I can take charge, I can take legal action, I can do whatever I need to do because I know I'm in control of the money. Unlike Google AdSense, you can't do anything with Almighty Google. You can't drag them, nothing. There's
Yep.
nothing you can do. And when you ask for reasons why they are banning your account, they would never send any clear information.
Yes.
So that was my
100%.
that was my biggest lesson there. So
Wow.
and even when everything happened, like I've faced failures times without number. Like I've made money, I've burnt down money. And
Mm,
the honest part is that I don't drink, I don't smoke, I
mm,
don't womanize. So people wonder, so how do I burn this money? I help people a lot.
mm,
So that's one thing I've learned about life. But the thing is that anytime I'm down,
mm,
I know that my why, like my strong why is that there's nobody that will help me. Nobody will give me money.
mm.
I just have to make that money. Yes, everybody depends on me. So I just have to make that money. Even like few days ago, my wife was asking me that, where is this motivation come from? I said, okay, let me ask you this question. If I stop all these things I'm doing today, where will money come from? Is there any rich uncle somewhere or any rich parent somewhere
Somebody
that will send me
that's going
money?
to give you this money.
So I know that it's a do or die thing. I don't have any. See, the moment you stop giving yourself choices, you stop giving yourself options, you'll be
Mm,
at your best in whatever you're doing.
mhm, mhm.
So that's the game I used to play. I know this is a do or die thing for me. I don't have any option. I don't have any. I can't go and be looking for a job now. I'm in
Yeah.
UK now for. I'm in
Who
UK now for almost.
who will hire the younger CEO?
I'm,
They'll fire you
I'm
in
in
1 week.
UK.
You
I'm
are
in
UK
UK
now.
now for almost 3 months now. We're
Wow.
just in our house doing nothing. Nobody is working. She's not working. Well, everybody is complaining about how everything. But you're enjoying your life because we worked hard for it.
Mm, mm, mm,
So that's it. Like I know the kind of life I want, and I know that there's no option, no job. I keep telling people, to the glory of God, I look at all the things I've achieved at this young age.
mm.
If I'm working, there's no probability that I would have achieved one quarter of what I've achieved
Of
so far.
course. Of course.
So, but like I said, internet is like a blessing to us in Africa, especially because in Africa, without connection, without so many things, you can't do anything. But internet is not a respecter of race.
Mm,
Your background doesn't matter. It's a level ground for anybody. As long as you have what it takes, you will succeed and you will make money.
100%.
If you need contracts in Nigeria now, you need big business, then you have to know people, you have to be able to pull strings. But with internet, everybody have the same opportunity. So that's why someone like me in Nigeria can be making money in dollars.
Mhm. I say that all the time. And that is why I started Digital Works Africa. Now listen, guys, and that's why I'm baffled by Nigerian government. We have so many youths out there. If they would just prioritize teaching and empowering them on how to get started online, it is the leveler. Nobody knows where you come from. Nobody, they look at your
Yes.
website. As long as he can sell, he's selling. Nobody
Yeah.
knows your background. So
Yes. Exactly.
right. Well, thank you so much. Believe it or not, we are just on question 4 and we have like 20. So we just do what we can for the next
Okay.
1.5 hours and wrap it up. But I'm
Thank you.
enjoying this and I'm sure everybody out there, we are all learning from each other. So guys, I hope you are making your notes. If you have questions for Seun, please wait till the end and then you can then post it to us and then we will respond to that. I want to focus exclusively on this interview right now. All right. So finally, we get to digital business, even though you have always been doing that anyway. But I want to talk specifically now, getting into the software production niche, even though you've been in several areas of digital business. So you are already an accomplished internet marketer in your very early 20s before breaking to the JVZoo scene. Why did you decide to transition? I know you hinted about it, but I wanted to address it a little bit more, maybe not too long. Why did you decide to transition into the JVZoo scene, despite the fact that you have had some successes in your other areas of business?
Okay. Thank you so much for that. So now the thing about me is that I think a lot. And when I think a lot, I look at things, okay, I've done information marketing business. I've done web designing and all those things. I've done e-commerce. I've done importation business. And then I look at 2015, I look at the state of e-commerce business in Nigeria. We operate on this business model called payment on delivery. It's not a good business model. You spend most of the money up front and you pray to and hope and wish that at the end of the day, all the money comes back to you. That's not the kind of lifestyle I want to live. That's not the kind of business I want to do. So at that point, I know that I need to move into something bigger than where I am right now. And a lot of frustration left, right, and center from the business. There was a company that cut away with almost, was it 10 million naira? Yeah, a delivery company that they delivered the goods, they didn't pay my money. Then I had to get my lawyer, was just dragging back and forth and all that. So I wanted something that I can control. I can control the money. I will not be at the mercy of customer. Maybe they will pick the products or they will refund the money or they will not pay and all those things. So at that point, I noticed that e-commerce in Nigeria, I've seen it all. I look at the top guys, and whenever I want to venture into the business, I look at what actually do I want to achieve, the kind of lifestyle, what do I want to achieve? Then I look at the top guys in that industry, that the most achieved in that industry. What have they achieved? Does it align with my own dream too? Now, let's say a business I want to start now. I'm thinking of making a billion naira there, and there's nobody in that business that have done 100 million. Then I'm deceiving myself. Even if I will achieve it, it might be so hard because it's just to show to me that maybe it doesn't align with my dream or my goal. So at that point in time, I know that I've done almost everything I can ever do in the e-commerce scene. I was doing that for how many years? Almost 7 or 10 years too. So that's when I decided to go into software launching because I know number one is an international, it takes my business to the international level. Secondly, I'll be earning in hard currency. There's nothing as sweet as earning in hard currency and spending in Nigeria. So that gives me leverage. Then aside that, the money comes in bulk. You can use it, invest in whatever you want to invest in. So when I figure out that, okay, this is the answer to I won't say problem, but this is where I want to go. This is the next level. This is where I want to take my business to. Then I decided to take myself out of my other businesses, just like what I said at the beginning. When I'm venturing into a new business, I zoom out of every other thing that I've been doing so I can give it my 100% attention to master the business. Like right now, I don't do much in my software business. Everything is automated. All the products I will launch till the end of this year is already there. The
Wow.
developers know when to develop, they know what to do, everybody knows what to do at any point in time. So when I noticed that, okay, this is the next level for me. And then I figured out the top guys in this industry, not even top guys. I look at the few Nigerians that are operating in that scene, and I see the kind of numbers, the kind of figures they are commanding. I was like, well, I want to be a part of this as well. And that
You
was
took
it
over
for
from
me.
everybody. So
Exactly.
no,
And
because
then
yes, go ahead.
I
Yeah.
used to say something. God is not a respecter of any man. Whatever he can do for A, he can do for B. So that has always been my goal. Like once I can see one person, just one person that is successful in that field, that's all I need to know. As long as I can see someone that is successful there, I don't care. What most people don't know is that when I venture into this launching, I sold a car. I sold one of my cars. Yes, I sold one of my cars. And the thing is that, like, I was investing so much because it's some that time I don't even have a team on ground to build software. I paid thousands, maybe $20,000. Before then, I already wasted $5,000 to
Guy.
one India. Yes, he collected the money and nothing happened at the end of the day. So I was spending so much. But like I said, anytime I'm going into anything new, it's a do or die thing. Another thing that I always tell people about me is that, see, when I'm starting a new business or I'm going into a new business and I'm spending money on it, I see it as an investment. So I can't go back. Even if it fails, the only point that business fails is when I give up. So I know that if I don't give up, I'm going to recover my investments. So that also keep pushing me like, you spend so much in this, you can't go back now. You have to make it work till you make money from it. So that keeps pushing me and I keep going. So at the end of the day, I venture into the business and here we are today.
Yes, we are going to dwell into that. I mean, you have just been a stunner to me, how you came into this, because you said something earlier, all right, about how you launch every 3 weeks. And that has to be because I'm looking at over 40 products to your name. So, and I'm trying to calculate it. Yes, it's about correct. This guy is launching practically every month. All right. And that blows my mind in the sense that the level of commitment, and I hope you guys at home are listening to this, the major difference between Seun and most of you and most of us, let me even add myself inside the matter, is commitment. He goes in and he dies there or he succeeds. You have to focus. I keep saying that to everybody. That's why last year, nobody had much about me in anything. I didn't do any launch. I didn't even do my normal training. That is my bread and butter. I focused 100% on Gist House since September last year that I started. No right, no left. I tell everybody 1 year of unrelenting. And unfortunately for me in that business, I ran into wrong developers. So it's like wasting the first 1 year and all the money. You're talking about wasting 20,000. I'm talking about over 300,000 down the drain. But I'm like, we die here on this particular app. Why? When we launched it, because when we got the idea for Gist House, that was only Clubhouse. There was nothing else. Like you said, all you need is one. Same thing with me. That this one that is succeeding, what are they doing? Let's go do something. So I put a team together, just like you. Unfortunately, the team that I put together, they didn't even know their left from their right. They did a demo of a Clubhouse, right? Yeah. But the back end, the deep end of it, they didn't know how to do. So when I saw them, I saw their product on Code Canyon. As a matter of fact, okay, that this is what I'm looking for. And I called them and hired the whole team. That, okay, we're going to customize this thing you have done. I have my own vision about how I want it to be, and I want to code it from scratch because I had the vision down the road that it is Silicon Valley. I'm going to end up with this thing. I've already decided that before I started. So whatever it's going to take. So they said they can do it. So they launched the first one. November, it was just, last year was just like bug everywhere. It was not working. We even got 50,000 the first 2 weeks, 50,000 users. But they all got frustrated because the app was not working well and all the goodwill just got squandered. I was still managing it. Let's try to fix it, pay them more money. By March, I finally realized that, boy, you are fooling yourself. This thing is not going to work. Then I fired the whole team, wrote off the whole money, hired a whole new team in April. This time now, Nigerians only. I said, okay, this one, at least if I have to go to their house for us to beat ourselves, I will go. Because that guy, the one was in India, one was in the Philippines, and then the rest of the team were in Kenya. So I can't go and fight when they were messing up. So I said, this time, I'm hiring Nigerian. What did I do? I went to Port Harcourt. I went to talk to Ifiok. I need somebody to head this team. He gave me Vaughn. I said, Vaughn, we need 4 or 5 people. So we hired them. Since March, we've been on it. But I didn't do anything else. Even though it's a free app. So that should tell you, so it's like you're just burning money. At least if you are doing an app where people will pay to use, and then you have this expectation that when I launch it, I'm going to make my money. This one I know going in, the first 3 years, not to just dump money. I know that. Okay? But it took a while to work. So a whole year before now, I think about in October 1st, I finally declared, okay, we have an app now. Because now it's working reasonably well. Now people can use it without me getting embarrassed. Because sometimes I brought an Alibaba there. The day Alibaba is supposed to, Alibaba said, okay, we'll do a room every day for me in December. Wow. Alibaba created a room. He himself cannot enter his room. In fact, you don't want to know my life. Okay, it was a nightmare. I brought Daneil. Daneil loved it. I interviewed. I said, okay, they will do some political rooms there as a way of creating. The next day, he got his guys to try to create their strategy room because they can do private rooms there. They created the room, they can't get in. So Otunbegbe is calling me. Okay, what's going on with this app? It's like I want to run, I enter under the ground. But I stayed with it because, like I teach, you got to focus. You are going to have that problem. You are going to have, now it is running. I've now said, okay, this January, let me go back to at least making some money before I end up on the street and they take my wife again. Let me go make, before the Tejo show voice, we come and collect my wife now. I don't care. I don't trust those boys. They might, 30 years, they're still looking at me. Anyway, guys, but you have to understand what she's saying. Commitment. And when you spend money on a project you believe in, see it as investment. Sometimes it looks to me like, oh, people look and say, okay, why don't you leave this thing? You have abandoned this one, you have abandoned this one, you have abandoned this one. I'm like, it's an investment. Now I know what not to do when it comes to this type of app. Now I've gotten what I want. It's working now. I can then go back. I can make money any day I want. Just like you said, most of us in this world, if they say you need to generate 10 million in the next 1 month because your father is about to die, we find the money. Exactly. So, guys, I hope you learned a lot from that. So now, tell me your thoughts, because now a lot of people watching us, there are guys typically that are going to be interested in going into the software production team. Why? Because I have Ifiok on, I have a Victory on, I have you, I have Misan. Yeah, you are a crossover, but many of them are like focused only on software production and marketing now. So walk me through that, your first breakthrough. Okay, tell me this. So you have mentioned a bit about it. Tell me, you decided you want to go into software. Walk me through it. What then happened, and how you made it happen for the benefit of those who might need to learn from that. Go ahead.
Okay. So after I decided I want to go into software launching, I came across your course and all that, because before then there was little to no information. You know, I'm from Nigeria, so most of these white guys, their products.
Especially the course for them in case some of them want to go look for it, so that they know what course are you talking about.
Okay, Launchify 360.
Okay, Launchify 360. Okay, go ahead. Because I have plenty. Before they go and look for the wrong product, go on.
No, it's Launchify 360 actually. Okay. So I got that course, and like I said, till today, I've never seen any detailed course. Like, it's compressed. And like I said, I'm not saying this because I'm here, but it contains everything, like down to JV managers details that you can contact, that you can launch, like everything. It's like a baby step to launching, everything you need to learn how to launch. So when I discover, I walk through everything, I devour it, so I know the next thing is coming up with a product. I got the team to develop the software and all that. So I was trying to talk to people that can bring me in, because I already understand that I need someone to bring me into the system. So I thought of different people that I could reach out to. I was reaching out to someone before, but the person wasn't responding. So, but like I said, I don't take things to heart. Like, if it's not going to be you, it's not going to be you. There's someone else I just keep knocking till I get that answer. So I don't give up. So after that, I noticed it wasn't working with me and the person, or maybe it wasn't just, life happens. I don't know what it was going through, but it wasn't responding. So, and then when I want to learn stuff from people, I don't expect you to teach me for free. That's another thing about me. So if you're going to charge for it, charge for it. So that way, at least we won't be wasting each other's time and all. Yeah. So after I couldn't get across to him, I decided that who else could I reach out to? So that was when I saw Precious Ungu's CBS, the sales video. That sales video is like a motivation to me. Like every morning I play that, video sales letter is what I'm talking about. Every morning when I'm in the office, in my own office alone, I play that video. Wow. Because that video talks about him, how he broke into JVZoo, how he made like millions of dollars in real estate investment. So it's a motivation for me. It keeps reminding me of why I want to venture into this and why I must make it work.
Mm.
So when I was watching that video, that was when I come across Misan. That Misan did $250,000 launch
Mm.
with
That's Mr. Morrison, guys. For those of you who may not know
yes,
who that is,
yes,
that's one of
Mr.
the top
Morrison.
Africans we are interviewing on this show. But go ahead.
Yeah. So he did $250,000 launch with Precious then. So I was like, okay, let me reach out to this person. So I searched his name on Facebook. So when I searched his name on Facebook, I told him about, okay, hello, I'm Seun Ogundele. He said he knows me. So I said, okay, good. Since this one know me, so that's an edge for me. I was like, how did you know? He said, don't worry, now I know you. I see your things. You're a Nigerian marketer. This one, that one. Okay, good. Said, bro, I need your help. I'm trying to break into this launching space. I've tried on my